Welcome everybody to round 4 to 10 here in MF1 Season 2, and we arrive here in Saudi Arabia for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here at the Jeddah Corniche Circuit. 18 drivers today will be taking the big challenge of racing around the fastest street circuit in the world, that being here at the Jeddah Corniche Circuit. Now let's move on to the track analysis. 50 laps around this 3.8 mile circuit, 27 corners, that's a ton of corners, and 3 DRS zones. Fun fact, this track is known about having flat out corners that could potentially be very dangerous. Now let's move on to the tire compounds. Hard C3s, medium C4s, soft C5s for today's Grand Prix. And the pit strategy will be a one-stop race. This is MF1's first ever time visiting the fastest street circuit in the world. We have a lot to discover and a lot to unfold. As now the formation lap is about to begin, let's go ahead and meet the grid. Valtteri Bottas will be starting in the back of the pack due to a bad qualifying result, and he is right beside Esteban Ocon. In front of them is Franco Colapinto and Lance Stroll. In front of them is Oliver Bearman and Sergio Perez. In front of them are both Audis of Gabriel Bortoleto and Nico Hülkenberg. In front of them is Yuki Tsunoda and Fernando Alonso. In front of them is Charles Leclerc with a bad qualifying result, followed by Pierre Gasly. In front of them is Kimi Antonelli and Lewis Hamilton, and in front of them is George Russell and Max Verstappen. And on the front row are both McLarens, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. McLaren has built a very fast car for both of their drivers, as Oscar Piastri put his MCL 39 on pole. Right beside him is his teammate Lando Norris, who finally broke free at Bahrain and won his first ever MF1 Grand Prix. But make sure to also keep an eye on Max Verstappen, the Mercedes, and the Ferraris. They are all pretty fast here at this circuit, but now the cars have completed their formation lap and they are ready at the line for the start of the Grand Prix. Here we are, folks, at the start of the Grand Prix as the lights begin to come up. Now it's 5 lights ahead of the drivers, and it's go. We are underway here at Saudi Arabia. Both of the McLarens even equal on the start as they're side by side heading to turn 1. Now look at this, 3 wide for 5th place. Hamilton, Antonelli, Leclerc. Leclerc's gonna back down. Good decision made by him. 3 wide in the first corner is not a good decision. As now into turn 1, Norris down low, Piastri up high in the corner. Norris locks up, slams into Piastri. Both the McLarens off the track and they slam into the barrier. Here comes Max Verstappen, takes the lead of the Grand Prix as both McLarens slam into each other and they are out of the race. What in the world has happened here? Safety car is deployed. And it's absolute pandemonium for McLaren as both of their cars come together. Their nightmare has came true. Piastri, Norris collide on the first corner of the first lap. And both McLarens are out as Max Verstappen inherits the lead. Right behind him is Russell. Now let's take a look. I believe Norris locked up and plowed right into Piastri. Let's see right here. Yep, Norris late on the brakes. Piastri still turning. Didn't notice his teammate was slow and locked up and slammed right into Norris. And the question is, could this have been avoidable? Yes, probably. But Piastri, again, probably didn't notice that Norris locked up, kept turning, and they just both came together. So unfortunate. Both with the McLarens, 2 races in a row come together. Piastri crashed out of the Bahrain Grand Prix and for the second race in a row crashes out here at Jeddah. And an absolute shocker way to start out this Grand Prix. Both McLarens collide, come together. Piastri, the favorite to win, unfortunately won't be able to race. Both of the McLarens are out, and the stewards will be looking at this incident to determine who is at fault. Here is a look at the incident that happened a lap ago, and the stewards have concluded no further investigation. This has been deemed as a racing incident. Lando Norris was late on the brakes, locked up. Piastri couldn't do anything. Piastri didn't know that Norris locked up, so he kept on turning but slammed right into him. Very unfortunate for both McLarens to be out of the Grand Prix, as now Max Verstappen is your current race leader. The safety car period is over as now Max Verstappen is looking for a perfect time to accelerate now. Yes, he does. And we are back underway here at Saudi Arabia. Max Verstappen's your leader. George Russell in second. Kimi Antonelli in third. Look out. Trouble on turn 22. Oliver Bearman has gone wide. And Sergio Perez gets by. What has happened here? Let's find out in this replay. Oh, it wasn't a lockup. Yes, it was. Oliver Behrman locks up, and that gives Sergio Perez an opportunity to get by as Behrman loses a position. Bortoleto putting pressure on Hulkenberg as the two Audis are battling. Gabriel Bortoleto late on the brakes into turn one, and Gabriel Bortoleto driving for Audi will get by his teammate of Nico Hulkenberg. Gasly putting pressure on Lewis Hamilton as we make our way through turn 27. Gasly down low on Lewis Hamilton, and Pierre Gasly driving for Alpine will put himself in the 4th position and gets by Lewis Hamilton. Russell now under pressure from his teammate Antonelli as he looks slow. Kimi Antonelli late on the brakes into turn 1, and Kimi Antonelli driving for Mercedes is going to get by his teammate of George Russell and put himself in the 2nd position. The only round of pit stops now begin as George Russell is the first taker driving for the Silver Arrows, pulls into the Mercedes pit box. He's having a pretty good day, running third but has an issue. The Alpine of Pierre Gasly is catching, and he needs to be on the lookout because that Alpine is wicked fast. Race leader Max Verstappen is now into the pits. After that whole first lap massacre, Max Verstappen came out in front and is leading the Grand Prix. He is dominating today, and it seems like nobody can stop him as he's out front leading the race, and he's back out on the track. Kimi Antonelli is now into the pits, and we usually don't talk about Kimi Antonelli because he's running mid-10s, but he's actually up front in a Grand Prix. Antonelli is currently running 2nd and is on course to score his first ever career podium in MF1. Not to mention, this is his first ever season. Another person we don't usually talk about is Pierre Gasly, but he's having a lifetime of a race today, currently running 4th, and has the chance to score a podium as he's catching up to George Russell. And what a story that could be for Pierre Gasly and Alpine to podium in a Grand Prix. Whoa, we got trouble in turn 1. One car wide. That is the number 11 of Sergio Perez driving for Cadillac. What has happened here? This is probably a lockup. I'm going to assume it is. Replay now. Let's see. And indeed it is. Lockup coming into turn 1. Tough braking zone. Missed his braking point and goes wide. Luckily rejoins the track. Doesn't lose a position. Russell under pressure from Gasly. Gasly looks low. Russell tries to defend, but here comes Pierre Gasly late on the brakes, and Gasly driving for Alpine is in position to score his first ever career podium in MF1. Look out, another car going wide, nearly misses the corner. It is Oliver Behrman. Let's see what happened here. Lock up again. Whoa, really close. Behrman almost hit the wall, saves it luckily. Great job done by Behrman. Lewis Hamilton now under pressure from his teammate Charles Leclerc. As Charles Leclerc looks low, coming in turn 27, and Charles Leclerc battling with his teammate for Ferrari will get by Lewis Hamilton and moves up a position. Max Verstappen wins the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. An absolute dominant win for the man in the Red Bull as he crosses the line first. Kimi Antonelli will score his first career podium for Mercedes. How about that? But another first career podium is for the man in the Alpine. Pierre Gasly, folks, scores 3rd. As Gasly, the man who struggles everywhere else, finally shines and scores his first career podium. Max Verstappen has won a wild Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and the podium is looking pretty unusual as Kimi Antonelli finishes 2nd, his first ever career podium, not to mention he's a rookie, and in 3rd place is Pierre Gasly that struggles everywhere else. But today, things managed to play out his way, and he and Alpine managed to score their first ever podium. Now, here's the race results. Verstappen, Antonelli, Gasly, Russell, Leclerc, Hamilton, Tsunoda, Alonso, Bortoleto, and Hulkenberg. A double points finish for Audi. Very well done for that new team. Now, let's move on to the Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen still remains in 1st, Norris in 2nd, Charles Leclerc up to 3rd, Piastri down to 4th. Hamilton is in a tie with Russell and him for 5th. Now here's a look at the Constructors' Championship. McLaren leads by 1 single point ahead of Red Bull. Ferrari's in 3rd, Mercedes is in 4th, Alpine in 5th, Aston Martin in 6th, Cadillac in 7th, Audi in 8th, and Haas, still last place, has yet to score a single point this season. This race was very chaotic, but had a ton of overtakes and many lockups. But I want to thank you especially for watching this video, as in the next race we'll be taking a little bit of a break from the Middle East and we'll be setting our sights on Europe for the Hungarian Grand Prix. And that pretty much sums it up, folks. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time at the Hungarian Grand Prix.